warm welcome individually. Welcome, welcome, salam alaikum. It's so wonderful to have this kind of support and this kind of turnout here in Santa Fe. My name, yes. My name is Judith Fine, and I'm a travel journalist. And I've had the good fortune as a travel journalist and as a human to spend time and visit Syria, Iran, Jordan, Lebanon, Egypt. I lived in Morocco, I lived in Tunisia, many other countries. And it's personally appalling and offensive, the dialogue that's taking place in the United States right now and around the world, actually. And that it's considered acceptable is really not okay. And the genesis of this event really is a belief that if we do not do something, then we're really part of the problem. And you are doing something, you're here to learn, you're here to listen. And the experiences that I have had around the world in Muslim countries, Azerbaijan, I mean, so many of them, it's unanimously the same. People are so hospitable. People are so friendly. They're so warm. We just came from Iran. When people asked us where we're from, and we said America, construction workers were looking up and making heart signs in the air. And they always, which is very interesting, wherever we go, they distinguish between government and people, which is something that really doesn't happen so much here, and you can make that happen. And they will say things like, we don't like a government, but we love American people. And so they're two very, very different things. And I wanted to tell you just the kind of things that made Islam so attractive when traveling to Muslim countries. One of the first things was learning listening, and people would always say, inshallah, when they wanted to use the future tense. They say, well, I'll go to the movies tonight, inshallah, or I'll read that book this week, inshallah. If God wills it, if Allah wants it, it will happen. And I thought, what a wonderful sense of humility, that you know you're not in charge of time, that somebody else is out there watching. And the first time I was in a Muslim country, there was another journalist, it was a very small group, another journalist from the Southwest. And he kept saying, oh, inshallah, inshallah, that's so wonderful. I got to remember it. And he said, I have no skill with language. And he's walking around all day rehearsing. And then finally he said, when the guide came, and the guide said, tomorrow we're going to visit fabulous ruins. And he went, enchilada. The thank yous, the shukrans, okay, because there are many of them. I'll go through it fast, but I couldn't take enough time to thank those of you who made this event happen. First, University of Art and Design for the use of the forum. Second, Ray Rivera and Ann Constable. If you're here, raise your hand. And Ann Constable at the New Mexican for such a wonderful Julianne Grimm and Anna Mae Kersey at The Reporter. If you're here, please raise your hands. Zelly Poland at KSFR. Richard Eves at KVSF. Lita, are you here? Lita Alakani from Channel 7. We've got a crew from Channel 7 here today. Our very own Mayor Gonzalez for his warm support of this event. And the tall guy, dressed in white, where are you, Krishna? Krishna Singh Khalsa. Here he is. We're making sure that everybody feels safe and secure. Santa Fe Police Chief Gallagher, I don't know if he's here, he's probably out on the beat. Thank you very much for your support also. Susan Paradise, Susan, are you here for that beautiful flyer that many of you have seen? Leslie Rapine, who paid for spots on the radio to promote this event. Abbas Akil and Imam Shafti for their support from the Islamic Center of New Mexico. Thank you. All of of the volunteers who got shanghaied and who are helping out today. Thank you so much for making this work. And UNM, next Sunday, please, please tell everyone you know, put it on social media, write to your friends. Again, next Sunday, the event with the same, there's one woman who will be different, at 1 o'clock, same time, next Sunday, same day of the week, at UNM, at the Student Union in Ballrooms A and B. Please promote it, we'll be doing the event there. And of course, Dick Rosemont of The Guy in the Groove, the record guy who gave us the sound system today, my husband Paul, who supports everything, and most of all, whom I thank most of all, are these 10 fabulous women, and you're now going to have a chance to do it. And one of them said, make sure you tell the audience we're not scholars. Okay, they're not scholars, but they know a lot about a lot. And any questions you have, I know that many of you gave in cards, and when they introduce themselves, you may have other questions. Just make sure they're handed up here with no censorship. These questions are going to be asked, and the women will answer. So first, what we'd like to do, each of the women take about a minute and just introduce yourself, please. You can sit, whatever you're comfortable with.
I'm going to stand. My name is Sarah Rahman, and I am a revert, and I am retired project manager for the Corps of Engineers. And then my main thing right now is prison ministry, so I go into the prisons.
You have to speak louder.
My name is Sarah Rahman, AKA Sister Sarah. And I am a retired project manager from the Corps of Engineers. I'm a revert, and my interest right now is doing prison reform. Thank you.
What's a revert?
That's our first question. Well, it's a person who usually has been, say, Baptist, which is what I was. That was what my family was. So in my opinion, we are all born Muslims. We believe in the oneness of Allah, and our parents have us to be whatever. And so through studying or however your hearts touch, you go back to being what you were originally born to be. My opinion. Go ahead. No question. Are you from New Mexico, Sarah? Yes, I've lived here like almost 50 years. She's from New Mexico. I was born in Texas, and you may pick up some of that dialect, to Louisianian parents. And I came to New Mexico because I was working at Los Alamos Labs at H4. So, and that was back in the 60s. And then because I was in love, my husband was in Albuquerque. So I gave up that position there and started working at that time here in Albuquerque. So I consider myself New Mexican.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello. Bonjour. Buongiorno. I would consider myself as a global citizen. I have lived in many different places, but born on planet Earth. I have many friends from diverse backgrounds, families from diverse backgrounds, and we're accepting of people of all kinds. And I really appreciate being here and to be able to be one of the voices amongst my sisters here on this panel today. My name is Mirage, and the real thing, not an illusion. And look forward to answering your questions.
Hi, my name is Fatima. Thank you all for coming today. It's really amazing how full it is. I was born in Espanola, so not very far away. I'm from northern New Mexico. I was born Muslim. And yeah, I went away for a while, and now I've been back in Santa Fe a couple of years. And it's great to be back. I work for NewMexicoWomen.org at New Mexico Community Foundation. And thank you all for coming again. Hi, my name's Rihanna. I own a food truck here in Santa Fe called Kebab Caravan with my husband. I was born in California, and my parents came here at the age when I was 4 to be a part of the Abiquiu Muslim community. And so I was born into Islam, and I was raised with Fatima and all the great people up in Abiquiu. And thanks everyone for coming out.
Assalamu alaikum. May the peace and blessings of Allah be on all of you. And my name is Sabiha Qureshi. I'm very honored and humbled to be here. And thank you for giving us that chance. I represent ICNM, the Islamic Center of New Mexico. And I've been in the community. I'm originally from India and married here for the past 27 years, 3 wonderful kids. And we look forward to answering any of your questions. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sandra Akkad, and I am just incredibly honored to be amongst you, and I am so proud of each and every one of you for coming out. Thank you. Special thanks to Judy. I'm an adjunct instructor at the Peace Studies Department at the University of New Mexico, and I am also the founder and director of a learning center where I teach K through 12, all subjects. It's called Tutor Me in Albuquerque, New Mexico. But Santa Fe especially has a near and dear part of my heart because I had a jewelry store here in the Violinda Mall, which became Santa Fe Place Mall, where I raised my 3 lovely children along with my husband. The store was called Universal Jewelers. I don't know if anybody I had the privilege of helping people, but I made tons of friends. So once again, I thank you for having us, and I hope that you're going to come out knowing a lot more than when you came in. Thank you.
There's another mic at the other side. There's another mic at your end. Might reach.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Kathy Agger. I am originally from back east, Maryland. I was raised there as a Southern Baptist girl. I moved out here with my husband. My husband is from Iran, but when we married, he was not a practicing Muslim. I went back to school once we moved to Albuquerque and took history of Islamic Middle East and the history of Islam, and it rang true to me. So I converted. I am a practicing attorney in the city of Albuquerque, New Mexico. I am actually one of the newer assistant attorneys for the city of Albuquerque. And I am so honored to be here, and I'm so happy to see all these faces. This is just incredible. Thank you so much. So inshallah, inshallah, we will be able to answer your questions and make you at peace with who we are, and for you to understand the peace and the love that Islam has to offer you. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. It's so wonderful to see these beautiful faces out here in Santa Fe. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming out. We appreciate it. And thank you, Judy, for organizing this. My name is Samia Assad. I am a Palestinian American. I'm a 3rd generation American Palestinian, the mother of 9. I'm a business owner. I have a business here in New York called New York Deli here in Santa Fe. And I am also the mother, I told you I'm the mother of 9, so but I am also a part of the Albuquerque Peace and Justice Center. So I thank you again for welcoming me here. Thanks.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Zainab Mohammed Midhat bin Harim, and I've been here in New Mexico for about 25 years, and I loved every minute of it. And I helped run Tribes Coffee House, which existed for 21 years in Santa Fe. And my husband is from Libya, and we traveled all around, and we lived in the Muslim community in Granada for about 3 years, in Morocco, in England, and we came to Texas, and we visited some friends in New Mexico, and I decided to move to New Mexico because I thought it's a beautiful place to be. and started a business, and here we are. And I'm originally Egyptian, from Palestinian origin. My mom is Palestinian, my dad is originally Palestinian. And thank you so much for coming and sharing this, and thank you so much, Judy, for being a messenger of peace for everybody.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome. Thank you all for coming out on this day. My name is Mumina. I am a convert to Islam. I was originally from New York City. I lived close to Dar al-Islam, if any of you have ever heard of that. It's in Abiquiu. It was under construction at the time that I met the people who lived there. They were very open, kind, welcoming, beautiful. It led me to read the Quran, which I did many times before I realized that Islam was the religion for me, and I converted. And again, I thank you for coming out.
Once more about the format for today. No live questions at all. If you want, I think each of you was offered an index card. If not, who has index cards? Just raise your hand. Okay, so there are multiple people who have index cards. Maybe you have new questions now. You're not obliged at all to ask a question. One other thing, we've been asked to have a sign-up sheet. If we do other, thank you. If we do other events of a multicultural kind of nature, we're going to have a sign-up sheet, so you'll be on it and you'll be notified. Who has the sign-up sheets? There's one. Who else has one? There's another one there. You can come. I'll have a piece of paper at the end, but please wait till the end and then just write legibly on these questions and on the sign-up sheet. If you want to be notified of something in the future, please make sure it's legible. Okay, now we get to the meat. Ladies, sisters, here we go. Uncensored, as you wrote them, as long as I can read them. How does your community monitor and deal with people that you know or suspect are getting radicalized? Who wants to take that one? Pass the mic. Pass the mic.
Well, we haven't had any radical activists or any kind of problems that way. In fact, we were attacked at the ICNM. There was some people who threw some fireballs into the playground and stuff. Without going into details, but there is no support from the community for any kind of a negativism in this aspect, because we are strongly peace-loving people. We come to the ICNM to pray and communicate with each other. So there is no doubt in our minds, and we want to even relay that to our children and our fellow Muslims, that we are only meeting there for peace and for prayer activities. And that's a very strong rule that's applied by our president and the board that runs the whole Islamic Center.
But on the offshoot that should there be an individual that displays those tendencies, for sure the community is in consensus that we would do the proper measures by reporting it to the proper authorities, because obviously we're part of the American fabric, and what threatens America threatens us. And a testimony to this is many, many incidents have been thwarted in America, and I'm sure I hope you're aware of, that were actually stopped by Muslim Americans. So I think that just goes without saying. We're definitely not for that, and we take it seriously. But by the grace of Allah, we haven't had any indication of any members following that path. Thanks.
Okay, let's take one more answer if there's another one.
Yeah, to go back to Sandra's comment, there have been over 60 foiled attempts at trying to recruit or to radicalize members of the community, the Muslim community in America. I just want to say here that Muslim Americans, for the most part, are very happy in America. They're very content in America. We love being Americans. And it's very hard to recruit or radicalize Muslim Americans. It's very hard. And we've been a big part of answering to this call. And it's been 14 years now where we've had to take that responsibility. And we feel like we've done what we've had to do in this community, and then some, actually. Thank you.
Yes, go ahead, please.
I think it's also really important just to acknowledge that our community is deeply surveyed. We are watched across the country. And we do have usually really good relationships with law enforcement. People do get reported to the FBI, but we're also watched a lot. And it's like you also don't want to create a culture of McCarthyism where you're like, well, what are you doing and what do you think? And you know, that's just really important. That's not the kind of thing you want to do in any community. So it's just important.
Okay, next question. Is there potential for the voice of Muslim women together to proclaim that Islam does not advocate killing and violence? Is there potential for the voice of Muslim women together to proclaim that Islam does not advocate killing and violence? Who'd like to take it?
You must, whoever asked that must not know Muslim women, because try to shut us up. We are the mothers, we are the teachers, Islam believes that everyone learns their faith at the knees of their mother. They sit and they listen. It's our job to teach our children, we do. It's our job to smack our husbands upside their head when they get stupid. We are loud, obnoxious, voiceful women, and yeah, we have an avenue. It's called our voice. We're out there. You can't shut us up.
I think it's important to understand why we are a powerhouse in our own way. It's really against the tenets of Islam to believe in that. So regardless whether you're a woman or a man, we don't uphold to killing anybody that's innocent. So that's very important. It's not the religion that's killing these people, right? It's these fringe elements that are utilizing and manipulating and pretty much have predicated their actions, their violent criminal actions, on a fallacy. So I appreciate the question, but while we are totally on that, it pertains to every single Muslim. Thank you.
I'd like to answer this right now. It's really sad that we as Muslim women have to defend ourselves as not having an impact to not have killers or think that we don't value life. It goes against every grain that we've been grown up in Islam. Islam says if you kill one soul, it's like you've killed humanity. So it's against everything we've been raised and everything we raise our children to. So there's a lot of people, a lot of different religions that can answer to this. I mean, how many of us here can't say, I don't want to pinpoint names, I don't want to be, but let's look at the world and let's see who's guilty of murder. Does every religion have to answer, or does every single mother have to answer to this? It's kind of like you have to understand the geopolitical situation. It's not tied to the religion. The religion is innocent of murder, of killing, of this genocide going on, this craziness happening around the world. Thank you.
In addition to what Samia said, the Quran says that if one person is killed, that means the whole of humanity is killed. And if you save one person, then you have saved the whole of humanity. So that's how deep it is. And we are, our kids and ourselves, we are inculcated with that values that, we have to be together and in peace. Thank you.
Let's have one more, okay?
I think all of us have to come to an agreement that most of our actions, our deeds, and everything that we conduct, we have certain values and ethics, and for every religion and every peace-loving faith that is out there, its foundations are not based on criminal minds. We all have justification how we want to raise our children. I'm a big advocate on children's education, on flourishing arts, on trying to create unity amongst people. And I'm sure there are other people besides myself who do advocate for positive means of life. And living in America and being the mother of 3 children, I pray for the best of these children because they represent our future. And I really pray that our future is a benefit for all of mankind, not just one group of people.
Okay. Is Allah so weak that people must enforce His will? Is Allah so weak that people must enforce His will? Selecting.
First of all, you have to understand that the word Allah means God. It's just a different language. And if you go to the Middle East, what you will find is that Allah, this Aramaic word, is used in all of the Christian churches, among all of the Christians. So it's just one word meaning God. Is God weak? I'll ask you.
That question asks us to justify the ignorance and the non-Islamic behavior of people out there who are not practicing the proper Islam, who don't understand the beauty and the love of this religion and God. They are doing the harm to people. And for us to have to try to justify it by saying that God is weak and He needs our help, no, that is not a Muslim belief. We say, inshallah, we leave it up to God. That's our first thing. So that question, which is directed to a non-Muslim fanatic crazy man, just like the question would be directed to the Planned Parenthood bomber or the other crazies out there. It's not Muslims. It's not that question is not to a Muslim because we believe God has all power, and we believe that we don't take that power.
Just 2 words. I mean, the premise of the question is wrong. And it's, the way the question was stated was totally wrong. It's a fallacy. But in terms of the will, in Islam, Muslims live their lives with their own free will, right? So they make their decisions, and it's up to them how they conduct their lives. While there is a Quran, where there is a source to guide us, in the end, ultimately, everybody makes their own choice. And the ladies have already stated the first part about Allah. And I just want to reiterate, Allah does mean Arabic, God in Arabic, and both Christians and Muslims pray to Allah. So it's not a foreign entity.
Yeah. Just kind of to reiterate what you said, it's sort of like that's almost I wish this wasn't anonymous because I want to ask more about that question. It's like it's not framed the right way. I almost wish you'd ask